This video will provide a description of the Curriculum for Wales model and framework. It will explain the different sections in the curriculum and describe how the framework has been designed. The first key principle is that the curriculum that's published on Hub is a national framework. This national framework includes both the curriculum requirements, which will be set out in legislation, and a range of supporting guidance. This national framework is the basis for schools to develop their own school design curriculum that is specific to their needs. Firstly, at the heart of the national framework are the learners and the four purposes. The four purposes are the goal or purpose of the whole education system. They should be seen in a holistic way as the aim for young people to realise. The four purposes are not to be directly assessed against, nor are they the organisers of curriculum provision. The curriculum is then divided into 6 areas of learning and experience. It's important to note the range of subject areas within each area of learning and experience, as there are new subjects now included in the curriculum, such as film and digital media and social studies. The 6 areas aim to support a more integrated approach to learning. The areas bring together familiar and new disciplines and subjects and encourage strong and meaningful links. However, it is key to note that the individual disciplines and subjects still play an important role, especially as learners progress and begin to specialise. Within the curriculum model, there are also cross-curricular responsibilities of literacy, numeracy and digital competence, and also integral skills. These responsibilities and skills span all of the areas of learning and experience. The literacy and numeracy framework and the digital competence framework remain as supporting guidance to help schools and practitioners to plan for progression in these cross-curricular responsibilities. In addition, there are also several cross-cutting themes and elements that should be considered in school-level curriculum design. These include relationships and sexuality education, which is a statutory element, as well as the UNCRC, diversity, careers and work-related experience, local, national and international contexts. These should be considered by schools in their curriculum development across all areas of learning and across the whole school provision. Within each area of learning and experience, there are statements of what matters. These are the key concepts or big ideas within an area. The work of Wiggins and McTeague and Wynne Harlan has developed this concept of big ideas. The statements of what matters highlight the big ideas that a school-level curriculum should explore. The statements of what matters are the basis of learners' progression. Through exploration of the key ideas and principles contained in the statements of what matters, learners will develop and progress. School curriculum design should support an increasingly sophisticated understanding and application of the statements of what matters. Here is an example of the 4 statements of what matters from the languages, literacy and communication area of learning and experience. Please note that these are just the headings of the statements of what matters. Each one is further explained in the framework with an additional narrative. The Curriculum for Wales guidance describes principles of progression for the whole curriculum and also for each area of learning and experience. There are 5 principles of progression that span the whole curriculum. These are increasing breadth and depth of knowledge, deepening understanding of the ideas and disciplines within an area, refinement and growing sophistication in the use and application of skills, making connections and transferring learning to new contexts, and increasing effectiveness as a learner. These 5 overarching principles of progression are then developed and described in greater depth within the AOLE specific guidance. These principles articulate the ways in which learners make progress in their learning and contribute to the 4 purposes. It should be noted that in mathematics and numeracy area, progression has also been framed around 5 proficiencies. These should be considered as the principles that underpin progression in maths and numeracy, in addition to the overarching principles that span the curriculum as a whole. What progression in learning actually looks like along the continuum of learning is described in descriptions of learning. These descriptions of learning provide guidance on how learners should progress within the context of each what matters. These descriptions of learning are arranged at 5 progression steps, which provide reference points for the rough pace of progression. These reference points, or progression steps, broadly relate to ages 5, 8, 11, 14 and 16. Here is an example of the descriptions of learning from the humanities area of learning and experience. As you can see, these expectations, these descriptions of learning, are expressed from the learner's perspective, and they are framed broadly so that they can sustain learning over a series of years. Descriptions of learning should not be seen as descriptions of outcomes that could be assessed through single standalone tasks, nor are they activities or assessment criteria. The descriptions of learning should be the basis of a school's assessment policy. Together, the principles of progression and the descriptions of learning are intended to guide planning at school level for appropriate progression.